Hey, welcome back to Connecting Hope. We're here in Ridgeland, Mississippi today at one of our 54 resource referral centers that are located across the great state of Mississippi. The resource referral centers are unique to the child care landscape in Mississippi. They're the brainchild of our Division of Early Childhood Care and Development. And what we want to give you today is a tour to help you understand that whether you're a child care provider, a parent, or even one of our littlest Mississippians, one of our children, when you walk into one of our resource referral centers, what can you expect, what can you see, and what resources are available for you and your family or your classroom. Join me as we take this tour. I'm so excited. I've heard great things about the R&R Center. So tell me, I walked in and there's this, number one, bright shining faces that were here to greet me. And so if I'm a provider or a parent or a child, what can I expect when I get to this door?
Well, you can expect us to greet you with a smile, to welcome you here. And also we have a safe space for not just the parents and the children, but the providers as well.
So as we take that tour, I want to hear your ideas of how people can use it, use the spaces, and kind of how y'all design it to actually create interactivity, interconnectivity between those who visit.
And also I want to add that our R&R centers are just not for families, but it's for our child care providers as well. It's for anyone who comes in on the community who needs help in referral and references related to early childhood materials. Our goal is to service all the families across the state of Mississippi at all of our R&R locations.
So one of the reasons you might have me sign in is actually you want to create a lasting connection to the families and the providers that visit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, so the first thing I see, there's obviously some information about different resources that are available, Mississippi Lift, a calendar, I love it. A calendar of events that may happen here, specifically at this Resource and Referral Center.
Yes, that's our Excel by 5 calendar, and we put it out every month, and it's in English and Spanish, so it can reach different families. They get to take it home and interact with the children at home with the activities.
Also, let me add as well, when you visit our LIFT Resource and Referral Centers, we try to have everyone on the same accord. So you're going to visit all our centers and they'll have a calendar of events. They also have activities for every month to provide for the community and our child care providers. And also we have a mobile unit that we use that travels across the state for those of people who cannot actively come to a center. We have a mobile unit where they can see what's going on in the resource and referral centers.
I really cannot wait to see how that mobile unit is going to be integrated really into communities that may not have a brick and mortar facility. And so when the child walks in, there's still this element of connectivity and consistency. And I love that you both highlighted that the first thing is we're going to connect to families, we're going to connect to providers, and then we're going to show them the resources that are there. You see the Nurturing Homes initiative. We see some information about Mississippi Lift, the mobile unit, and other resources that are here to help families and providers connect not only to early childhood resources, but to each other and to the community.
Yes, that's correct.
So first thing is I see when I walk in this amazing open space here in Ridgeland. I see a cool table with some ribbons and some pieces that a child may be able to touch. These facilities are kind of designed with some intentionality. We want to talk about that as we start moving through here, and even the way you design the activities that we'll see.
Okay.
Perfect.
You ready?
Yeah, let's take a tour.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
I'm following you guys.
Okay.
Well, first you will have infant and toddler area, and this is their little play area, and you can tell because the furniture is small, like they're small. And so we always have some things out that goes with our theme, and other things as well within the areas. But this is our infant and toddler puzzle area. This is the sand and water, some more puzzles, balls, and different things.
So let's, real quick, what I see is the ability here in our toddler area with some areas that are low, right down to the children's eyes.
Yes.
So it's not just coming in like a library and maybe seeing some books to pull off the shelf and things to kind of pull. It's actually created to develop immediate interactivity and interconnectivity for the children.
Yes. And so we call the puzzles and the fruits and vegetables just supplies and manipulatives that they can use to feel, to get the texture of things, to know what an apple might feel like, what a grape might feel like, how to use their fine motor skills to grasp puzzles and put them back in the holes. So that's why we have the shelves, and our shelves, if you notice, they're labeled, and they're labeled in Spanish and in English because we're trying to service all walks of life and all families that we want to create a safe space for.
So while the normal person that may not continually be around children, may not have young children, somebody like me whose children have grown older, we may have forgotten that fine motor skills and the way that a child develops, they develop through play and connecting and touching and not just hearing.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
everything here, I'm going to actually try to get my old knees down here on the
Get your
ground
knees.
here. But some of the things we see is they're labeled.
Yes.
They're labeled.
So they could pull out something that's orange, which would be also
That's the
one
color.
of my favorite oranges, a bell pepper,
Okay.
a carrot. You come over, you got bananas and yellow bell peppers. I'm glad we've got the stop signs of the bell peppers here because that's helpful for when you cook,
Yes.
right? And then we've got some reds. So everything's labeled. And you've got elements where the child can experience maybe cooking and mimicking maybe what they've also seen at home.
Yes.
And-
This is the favorite area, dramatic play.
It is.
Because it reminds them of at home.
It does.
When they're cooking with mom and dad, grandmother, they love to sweep like they're at home. And then, of course, you can't forget about the community
Yes.
outfits. They love to pretend and be a community helper.
And to that point, children
add-
love to mimic.
Absolutely. So let me add this. There are 5 domains that we focus on in early childhood education. That's social and emotional development, cognitive, fine and gross motor skills, and there's so many others that we try to hit. So that was 3 of them, but we focus on a lot of things. Early childhood is the foundation of learning. And this community that we have put together is just a foundation that can help families and providers enhance the skills that they're already doing.
So to some extent, that even that 0 to, we think that toddler, they're barely
Yes.
moving, they're becoming a little bit more mobile.
Yes.
Everything in here is to help them want to develop one of those 5 fine motor skills.
Yes.
And what's really cool that I've learned about the R&R is these resources are available for community members and child care teachers to check out.
Yes,
They
free
can
of
check
charge.
out for 2 weeks. If
14
they choose
days.
to bring it back, they can do so. And like she said, it's free. And please come out and see what we have to offer.
Well, I'm going to, we have some people who may actually be listening to us today.
Okay.
So we're going to actually do a little role play.
Okay.
A child comes over here and they see this bucket of animals.
Okay.
They may get it out. They may give us an alligator
Okay.
and a lion,
Thank you.
and I'm going to go with a rooster. Of course, I went with a rooster. But a child's going to pull this out, and they're going to maybe mimic something they've seen on a video, or they're going to have some fun with it. And they can take these home, play, or they can come here, and we're encouraging parents to get down on the level here while even here in this facility. It's not just come, check out, it's interact with your child while you're here.
While you're here, so you interact first, and then if the child has an attachment to this lion, we're going to go to the Linden Libraries. We're going to talk about those, and we'll have some extra lions for them to take home and to say roar all day for the next 14 days, and then you'll bring it back.
So I love what you just brought in. You're here also to help engage the parents while they're here.
Absolutely.
You may come over and make some of those suggestions. Hey, they're connecting to this lion, they're connecting to the giraffe, which is one of my favorite animals. So you find a book, you may find a puzzle, things that they can connect into that one piece of learning and connecting.
That's
Yes,
true.
that's correct.
And that's one of the rules. They have to be engaging. It's not where they come in and turn their backs. they have to be engaging with their children, and we come over and we're engaging with them as well, and we also should suggest things that they're interested in. For instance, if a child likes cars, trucks, we have books with cars and trucks too, so they can do both, the cars and trucks, and take the books home with the cars and trucks.
So this is primarily our toddlers. Toddlers age range usually 0-ish to
Toddlers is
two.
1 to 1.5.
Okay.
All the way up to 2.
all the way up to 2.
Yes.
All right, so we've got our lions, we've got our alligator, we've got hippos. The most important thing though is finding that thing that a child at this moment is gravitating to so we can begin to connect. There's also an opportunity to start making maybe some evaluations to see how the child is socializing, maybe to see how the child is interacting with things, and it gives you a chance to maybe see as a worker here at the R&R, maybe how to point parents to other resources.
Other resources. So particularly we have parents who come in and say, hey, my child is not talking just yet, and is there some things that you could do to help me with that process? Of course, we'll have stories and stuff that they can listen and help with their phonemic awareness. And then we have a list of local speech pathologists who might come in and render services. We're getting ready to do hearing screening so we can help our children in the community be able to go to the next step, because the goal is to help the families help themselves always enhance what's going on in their homes, and along with our child care providers.
Even as early as toddlers?
Even as early as toddlers.
Wow,
We're
that's
the
starting-
Resource and Referral Center. We were resourcing
We
it
do
and referring it all.
Well, I'm going to take your lion
Okay,
and
thank
your alligator, or it could be a crocodile. We're not gonna, but I love how it's set up. Everything is set to move and kind of graduate children. There's a spot, so we start here next. I see some puzzles and some musical instruments, some adaptables. It looks like sensory spirals.
This is our sensory area.
So why is the sensory area important for the development of a child?
They
Well,
like to feel,
yes,
they like to
touch.
manipulate. And so if you give them something sensory and they're anxious feeling, they're more apt to calm down as well. I think I need sensory toys too, because I love to play with the sensory.
So, I'll give you an example. I lived about 25 years ago in rural Mississippi.
Okay.
The closest city was Houston, 12 miles away. And a lot of these resources, I had 2 young children under the age of 5, and a lot of these resources were difficult to find. You had to go to Dallas or Fort Worth or New Orleans and find a larger toy store to find these types of resources. Amazon wasn't even a thing, right? So what I love is that the R&R is bringing these things that were once unattainable, unreachable, into communities, whether it's through a physical location like this or our mobile unit. But music instruments, puppets, how are those beyond sensory? How do those help connect a child and let you help determine if a child needs other types of assistance?
Okay, so I want to be clear and say I don't determine that, but we do have a sort of screening that have checklists that if some of the things are not being checked off, then we refer the mothers or fathers to a different agency. Like one of our agencies that we work hand in hand with is MECIC. They cater to the needs of language, speech, fine sensory, and they can come in and talk to a parent and give her or him some guidance on the next step that their child needs help with if they're noticing some things that they're not moving forward with. Also, we give our child care providers and our parents a developmental chart. And what that does is it gives them an outline of things that they're supposed to be developed on at the particular stages that they're in their growth. Early childhood education, I must add again, we teach about the growth in the stages of children, so that's just very important because sometimes new mothers don't know, sometimes older mothers don't know, and sometimes you just don't know. So that's why we have the stages of growth, not just for families and parents, but for our child care providers as well.
And I'm emphasize that sometimes it may be an older grandparent like myself. I think childcare has kind of grown to help us understand the importance of intervening. And then you mentioned MECIC, that's the Mississippi Early Childhood Inclusion Center, based out of the University of Southern Mississippi. But what's great about it is through the Resource Referral Network, and I love that we call it a network, it's a connectivity.
It's connected.
They will come in and you can connect them to either virtual screenings for developmental screenings, or they can come into different R&Rs.
And do the screening here.
Or even they're going into child care centers and doing those.
Yes.
That's important because the R&R is really that connecting point, a jumping off point, if you will, to opportunities to connect families and children.
It is.
I love the puzzles now. We get over here we're moving dramatic play. Make believe. I think sometimes, even as a father, I regret to say that maybe I stifle my child's imagination at times. Let's do things that we know or familiar with. But a child's imagination really is an interesting and a beautiful place. So you have some places for dramatic play, some interconnectivity, baby dolls, which is we know. What do we know about children at this age?
So children at this age related to dolls, I'm going to be honest, a lot of dads don't want their children playing with dolls, especially their boys. But we try to encourage the parents that at this age, you don't hinder their imagination. If they want to play with dolls, if they want to rock the baby, hug the baby, love on the baby, that's a good thing because they might have a younger sibling. It's teaching them how to nurture their younger sibling. And as children grow into adults, those are skills that they might remember on how to be caring and loving towards baby dolls. So we don't hinder in dramatic play. Whatever they choose to wear in the dramatic play center, we don't say, no, little Johnny, take that off. No, keep it on because you don't know what hindrance they're doing with their imagination.
So we've got our toddler area, 0 to up to 2 years old here, but it's really if an older child wanted to come over and play in this area, let them come.
They cross over.
They're going to come in and they're going to run around, touch, experience, correct? Yes. So what we have here now is move into our preschool area.
The best age.
The best age. The idea of early childhood care and development is it's really birth through 5. So we've moved out of the 2. We're into the 2 to 4, 4.5, 5-year-old stage.
Yes.
Getting ready to prepare children for long-term learning.
Long-term learning.
So let's talk about these resources starting here. This area right here, which is made, it's interesting. It's a little bit taller.
It is.
Talk about the other adaptations as the child moves up, some of the games, some of the adaptables, even the experience they have may be a little different.
Okay, well, the puzzles are definitely a little advanced in your taller puzzles. And then we have the cars, you go into the traffic signs, the different people, the bigger blocks, community helpers. And then here you have the manipulatives, and they are different because here you're dealing with patterns, counting. Here, these are the number robots, and they still can count with those and learn the numbers. But if a child like robots, this is the game. And this is one of our number one things they do like to check out from the R&R. I
can check that out?
Yes.
I mean, I had Transformers when I was growing up, so even for somebody under the age of 5, that's a pretty cool resource to be able to take home for a child.
Yes, and this is cool because they can move if I can get it to move, like for instance the number 6, they can count and move the little, well, I guess it's tired today. Maybe I'm not okay, there it is. They can move it to the number 6 or whatever number they're working on.
So really you see an element of still working on those fine motor skills from toddler, but then moving over here to maybe learning numbers, maybe moving systems and order.
And so normally in our preschool years, especially in a child care facility, we have, most times facilities have centers set up, block, dramatic play, math, science and discovery, along with art and music. So we try to hit every area for the preschool child because those areas are fundamentally important. Math is a big thing now. It's always been a big thing, but the math now is different. And so that's why it's being taught different from how I learned it. So that's why we try to have manipulatives and games that will help enhance those skills early so it won't be so complicated for them once they reach kindergarten.
So far in our tour today, we have focused more upon what the child could expect and more of maybe what a parent could expect. But you've already brought that up, is that a child care center will have a center, things that a part of the really daily lesson plan that child care. A lot of people think that child care is about dropping a child off, somebody watching them for the day. But we're talking child development and how you set this up. So let's talk about that element of these resources are available for child care providers to come in and create their lessons. And we'll get back to our make and take, but you can integrate that part into the resources available for child care providers or teachers.
Well, just say if it's a child care center, they don't have something they're teaching about the family.
Yeah.
And they don't have anything in the center to teach about families. So they can come here, and this is one toy they can check out. And like I say, if they don't want it for 2 weeks, they can bring it back within the 2 weeks. So, and that goes on a lot. They have the center set up, but it's not enough materials for the children to, interact with and play with.
You may be familiar with like construction paper and some glue and some crayons, but this takes that to, again, that more holistic, interactive level.
Yes.
So
and hands-on is always good, especially for preschoolers. Some of them, they have to see it, they have to feel it, they have to know what exactly is going on. And so that's why we have these manipulatives catered to their age group that can help them with the process of learning.
And so even the really neat thing is if a child care teacher uses a manipulative or a toy or tool at the center, the parent sees that or hears the child talking about that and they say, I'm going to go see if the R&R has that or something similar, and they can come check that out.
Absolutely.
So
Because one thing we
continue
do tell them, and I know you guys do as well, share about the R&R with the families so that they can know that, hey, I can come here, check it out instead of trying to buy it.
So we keep on moving down, and we're now in this area is mostly preschool.
It is.
And then we get kind of older children. I noticed over here, we'll get to here in a second, school age. That's kind of new to our R&R network, kind of expanded, making sure that older children have a place, because there may be an older child with a younger preschool child. Young families, they start blending over into that kindergarten through third grade, fourth grade level. They still need a place to interact with their children.
They do.
So let's talk about this area and kind of the availability, that it's not just limited to birth through 5.
So I want to say this, that even for our school agers have more projects-based assignments. And so we cater to the parents, number one, because we have the supplies that they may need and some activities that can help them along with their homework that might be given to them when they go home. So we want to make it known that the R&R Center is just not for preschool children or infant and toddlers, but it's for our school agers as well. We have science fair board, reading fair boards available for them. Once we get to their area, they can make it here. We can help them with the process. Then they can take it on back to school. So we want to accommodate all ages that the family has inside of their home, and all ages that the child care facility has at their facility.
Now I'm going to drop a little funny in here. Don't be like my children.
Okay.
Who waited until about 9 o'clock the night before it was due.
Yeah, I got an
because
assignment.
these ladies need to be at home with their families as well. But take a little planning, and what I loved is the foam core boards, the poster boards, the different pieces. And as we get back into that make and take area where you can cut letters and items for those presentations. This is available for those who have children in elementary and junior high. They can come in and really help their children thrive and excel in school.
They can.
That's an amazing commitment. So right here, one of the things I see is the elephant in the room, positional words activity set. Something that a family, a parent could do together, probably multiple age levels, probably third, fourth grade up into that elementary grade.
Yes.
But families can get together. One of my favorite that we used to play with my children as we drove, whether we were in the car without the game,
I spy.
is I Spy.
Yeah, that's
and we had those
favorite.
books. I love that it really brings children and parents together, or a younger and older sibling together to experience. Everything's meant to help children play and learn and develop. And actually they're learning and developing and don't even know it because they're playing.
That's absolutely
I'm gonna
correct.
show you another one we have. It's new, and you know STEM and all that is big in the schools. Gravity. This is a new game. So we have a lot of things to challenge them. We also have some things to help with even them getting along, like social and emotional games.
I love this one because it kind of blends over into that STEM side. But I also, again, you've mentioned several times social and emotional growth and well-being. That's an important piece of childhood development.
Yes. So social and emotional growth is one of our 5 domains, and they need social skills. We have a community of stay-home parents and families who bring their children here to obtain and help with, according to like games, and meet other children to help with their social skills. Not just at this R&R, but all the R&Rs. The homeschool moms find out the R&Rs are available, and they check out the resources that they need, and then they tell all their other homeschool moms, and they have a full day at the R&R, making projects, doing word walls, accommodating the needs of their children with their social and emotional skills, because they're using it as a time where they can meet their other friends. They come to the R&R, work on assignments and projects, and then they leave and they go eat lunch and then go to the movies. So it's an opportunity where they are building, and we tell them the R&R is a place where you can come and help your children grow, help them with their social skills, help them meet new friends, help them be able to relate to others. So when they get to high school, it won't be a bad thing when they make that connection with their other friends.
I love that. We will show some footage that we've received of some homeschool families engaging in our Tupelo R&R. And that has been an important piece to try to tell families. Just because you don't have a child at a daycare center doesn't mean the resource and referral centers are not available for you.
Well, see, that's our #1 clients are the homeschool moms. We have mom groups coming in, and it's like a play date. Like, for instance, these 2 parents where we can't show them, but they're on a play date today. So we do have home group moms. They come in periodically.
So when you walk into an R&R, you may not know what to expect, but there's quite potentially going to be mothers and children, or fathers and children here. One of the things with Valentine's, we're filming this, I'll give you a time frame, around Valentine's Day. This would be a great Saturday afternoon Valentine's date with your child.
Yes.
To come in
It's so
and experience
true.
and check something out and let that child have the blessing of your time, but also maybe the experience of something new that, again, many of these are expensive. And we know that a lot of families across the state are working, paycheck to paycheck. And so to have these free resources available to help your child develop, I think that's a special blessing that's kind of hidden behind all of these other things. And then also the connectivity to community. So as we move through, we've got our really preschool area with the kitchen, more baby dolls, and I like the fact that you can see as a child interacts with a baby doll, maybe the nurturing or the lack of nurturing, and finding ways to intervene and get involved there, and trained and qualified staff that are passionate about that.
We are very passionate about R&R.
So we mentioned we were holding our lions and our tigers and our bears, oh my. And you mentioned that kids playing with it. Y'all gonna be aware. What happens now? I've got my tiger, or a child's over here in the playhouse, and I love that we've got our multi-generational family in the house, multicultural family in the house, multiple levels, and you see something like this. So you may come over, and what would be y'all's next interaction?
So my interaction would be when I'm coming over and I see children playing, I'll say, hi, oh my goodness, you had the mama, now you had the dad. What are you all going to eat for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, the babies are so pretty. Let's change their clothes. Oh, let's make the bed. So then we're teaching them life skills.
Yes.
Changing clothes, making beds, putting on shirts, cleaning up the kitchen. Let's do the laundry. Those are things that we would, words that we would say to them to give them key words of what all goes on in a household unit.
All the while helping the mother who may be a little hesitant to also make that type, giving a modeling experience for them.
Yes. Yes.
I love that. So give me a tour to our next part. I see some really cool areas,
Okay.
areas to sit, puppets, things like that.
Okay, so this is our calm area. And I have to remind them this is our quiet area. I actually had a school-age child. He didn't sit on these, but he sat in the chair and he read him a book. And he was just chilling reading. So it's not just set up for the infant, toddler, preschool. As you can see, these bigger posters here is something to encourage our school-age children as well, because, you know, they go through too, and so they need to be encouraged as well.
So area they can come over here. You
And
got
chill.
ground level seats. And I see one of my favorite books, The Three Little Pigs with three little puppets. So not only can they read, but whoever's reading with them can interact and do a little role play as well.
Yes,
Or
sir.
if the child just wants to grab a book.
Yes.
Let's talk about our library here.
Okay, so in this area, well, here we always have our books for the month that goes with the themes or holidays. And so our next shelf, once he moves over to that one, this is the bilingual area, this whole area here. And then here we have community helpers. Eric Carr's popular as the author, Ezra Jack
definitely.
Meek, school books, social and emotional, holidays, Curious George.
Always got to have the bit man with the big yellow hat.
I
right?
know, yes, sir. And it goes on about, you know, just different categories. We also have the ones, if they want to read along with the CD, they can do that as well with a headphone.
Excellent.
Okay.
And again, Clifford the Big Red Dog. Familiar titles, some newer
Yes.
titles. I do love an entire shelf for the social emotional that helps
Yes.
children, and maybe a mother come in and say, okay, my child's behaving this way. What's something we can maybe check? And again, these are you can check these out.
Yes.
You can.
Let's talk about that checkout process. We talked about the games and the books. What is that checkout process?
Well, you can, if for instance, if they want something on, and this is my favorite, the pow pow fish. So the child may be pouting at home about something, so I would recommend this book if the parent is looking for something on behaviors. But if they don't want to keep the course 2 weeks, which is the 14 days, they can bring it back within that 14-day window.
So I love this. Check it out and grow with your children. But there's another thing that have a little bit of extra space here at the Ridgeland, but some of our other R&R centers, specifically your R&R center on Briarwood Drive,
Yes.
it has a little bit more space. So there's also availability for trainings and that
Yes.
type of interaction for providers to grow.
Okay, so I want to say this: all of our R&Rs, we
Yeah.
try to run them all the same.
Yeah.
But some of them are larger than others. So Briarwood is a huge R&R, and it's big, and we render a lot of services. So we do trainings to early childhood providers, and those trainings consist of taking care of family and me. It's budgeting, keeping up with managing your budget in your child care facility. It also consists of health and safety and nutrition. We may have rules and regulations training there at the R&R. And we have other entities of child care, early childhood, who come in and have training at our facilities. We've had MDE there, we've had MECIC there, we've had the health department there at the Briarwood location. So it's a resource and referral center. It's doing exactly what it says. We're doing resources not just for the child care providers and not just for the families, but other agency who has a helping hand in the field of early childhood as well.
And to connect to some of those trainings, some of those events, you can go to any R&R, and again, that monthly calendar that you guys prepare is going to point people to all of the available within not only that R&R, but maybe within parts of the state that they could connect into.
Because if we don't offer it, I can say, hey, go
to Briarwood.
Briarwood, they offer it.
And then if Briarwood doesn't offer it, I could say, hey, run over here to Jackson State. And then if Jackson State doesn't offer it, we could say, hey, run down there to Philadelphia, Mississippi. That's where you want to go. We have 52 R&Rs across the state. We all try to work hand in hand to make sure we are meeting the needs of the families that we are servicing in our community, along with the child care providers and any entity of early childhood who wants to play a huge hand in servicing families.
So there's one final place that I want you to take me into, and that's our make and take.
It's our favorite place.
Families can decorate a room or a teacher, and also create and check out some lesson plans.
Yes. So welcome to our make and take station. That's what I call it. And so they can, right here, we always want to frame the artwork of our visitors. And so this is their wall of art, because every child is an artist. It doesn't matter what they do, is scribble, they're an artist. They're very important. So you see here, she is using our die cuts to cut out letters, shapes, whatever you have it, they can do here at this die cut machine. This is where all the magic begins.
So you could do a bulletin board, or a parent cut out pictures and laminate and make letters for the child's name to help them learn their name in their room at their house. Or if you're a teacher or provider, you could come in and you don't have to have some of this expensive equipment in your own facility.
Because we have parents come in and they make birthday banners for their children, or they may do a wall so that they can learn how to spell their names, learn different shapes, different colors. It just depends on what they're looking for at that time. And then also we have a book that shows all of the die cuts that we have housed here, and they are by numbers. And also we have this machine, which it makes everything looks really nice, the lamination machine. So again, that is free of cost.
I love that. Lamination, die cut machines, those are expensive to keep. And we know this. The business model for child care centers is very tight budgets.
It is.
And so by having these resources available, we're saying to providers, come. We want to take some of that burden off of you so that we can have consistent child care across the state, resources available so that all children, no matter which county, no matter which city, no matter which provider, can thrive and grow. And parents can know that no matter which facility they're sending their child to, they're getting a quality, affordable, powerful education and interaction for their child.
And we can't forget about the butcher paper.
Yes.
It's free of charge again, and we have a variety of colors that they can select from.
You know, when I was a young parent, my children loved butcher paper, just rolling butcher paper out on the ground, give my children scissors and glue or crayons and other things that they can do to really interact. And what was interesting is the longer I made that paper, I could put my 4 children, and anywhere from a 7-year-old down to a 2-year-old, they were all interacting together, but you could see how their minds were differently thinking, but they were doing it together.
And when you mentioned that, I thought about a parent came in, you know, the storm we just had.
Yes.
And they came in to get just resources, but they came in and they got paper, and they said they was going to do just what you said, just roll it out and let the children do their thing, because they were going to be locked in. So
one of the things was we walk out, let's talk about the hours that are in our location, but also the deliberate nature of the seasonal-ish things. So if a teacher comes in, they want to see how a center may be set up. You guys have set up some really cool tables right here that when parents walk in, when the children come in, they have a chance to do some interaction.
Well, we do our activities according to the theme we are in for that month. And our theme for this month is fairy tale folklore. And of course, we can't forget about the holiday Valentine is approaching. So here they can make a crown. And these are just pre-cut crowns already. They can just, decorate. And then we have the Valentine frames that they can cut paper, like you were saying earlier, add stickers to whatnot to that. And I have to research that area.
You do. And another thing we do is we know that February and March is the time of the month where it's a big science fair. So we try to make sure we're fully stocked on science fair boards and science fair supplies and materials that the students might need to create the science fair projects, and that's mainly geared toward our school agers. I will tell you that our hours of operation is Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, and on Thursdays we are open at the Briarwood location to 7 o'clock. Because child care providers normally don't close their child care facilities to 6, and they need an avenue to come in and recreate and get supplies that they may need for their child care facility for the upcoming week. And we're also open at least one Saturday out the month. That's from 8 to 12.
Okay, so here at the regional location, we're open 8 to 5, and Tuesdays 8 to 7, and that's every Tuesday.
So for a list of locations and hours and addresses, please visit our website for a comprehensive list of resource and referral sites across Mississippi, as well as we'll start posting information about our traveling mobile R&Rs that will be available in communities across Mississippi. Ladies, thank you for joining us today. This is an amazing work that you ladies are doing and are a part of across the Mississippi, and really helping create a miracle of childhood development across Mississippi.
Okay, and I need to say we are open twice Saturdays, and that's the second and fourth Saturday of the month. Perfect. From 9 to 12.
I love that you are making these facilities accessible to families' hours, because again, many families may work swing shift or off hours, and so we're making these facilities available and connecting into communities, because we are making a learning investment for tomorrow for Mississippi's youngest children.